Hello guys, let me know once my voice is audible to you, then we get started with today's lecture related to the Java collection. Hello guys. Okay, so my voice is audible to everyone. So let's get started with our topic. So this Java collection is all about three different lectures. So I have divided into three separate parts that we are going to discuss it today. So the first topic in this we are going to discuss is about what is Java collection and what is the difference between array and the collection, why we are moved from array to the collection in the real time perspective. After this we will be have understand about the collection interface versus the collection class, and then we are going to use with the some of the example in the Java code language. Then we are going to discuss about the collection hierarchy diagram, what does it represent, and we are going to discuss some of those classes and interfaces related to this. Then we will be understanding about the list, basic identity, and then we are going to discuss about the set, and then we are discussing about the map interface hierarchy. We're not going much about all those that we are covering those later on classes, because we have divided topics into three different sections. Then we are going to discuss about some common collection method that is being used in the real-time uses. So I have prepared the same. Then I will summarize for the today's lecture. This is the all about that we are going to discuss with today's topic with related to the Java collection. So I hope you are able to understand today's agenda. So let's get started with our today's topic. So the first topic is, what is Java collection? Let me just copy paste this and into the notepad section, and then we can start it. So what does Java collection represent? So Java collection is kind of a framework that provides an architecture to store or manipulate a group of objects. Let's say you wanted to store list of web elements. You wanted to store web elements of n times. So instead of creating n web element n number of times, there is an approach which we can use. We can create a list of web element, and we can store all those web element into that, and we can manipulate whether we want to insert it, we want to delete it. Every action can be performed with this same ideology. Similarly, we want to store the JSON data in some. Let's say you wanted to store some JSON data. So instead of creating a JSON object, all those values, we can create a map and assign it to API for data. So this is how we can use Java collection as well in the real-time perspective. These are the common web automation perspective that you can use. Similarly, you want to make a, for example, you want to store some Kafka topics as well. Then you can also use Java collections of array list to store the response that we get in the Kafka topic. All those things can be associated with the Java. When you understand the Java collection, you will able to store those objects and manipulate whatever you want to do. So since we have an idea in array or in any sort of thing, so searching, sorting, all those things, we need to write some codes to do that. So these are the functions which is already provided by the Java collection. So we are going to directly call those function and provide the value. For example, in Java or in array, you wants to add some value, so then we can use the incremented value of the array, and then we are add those value. Similarly, if you want to delete some data into that, you need to remove the space from that array and traverse back all those values. This is how you are deleting the object. Similarly, if you wanted to search some data, you need to navigate one by one each every data. So this is how in the array looks like. Similarly, if you want to store some new data, we need to increase the space of an array, then only we are able to store them. So these are the challenges that you are facing when you are dealing with the primitive types of data in the Java. So those challenges has been fulfilled by the Java collection. We can store values, we can search values, we can sort values, we can insert, delete, everything with the help of functions which is provided by the Java collection that we are going to use. So real-time uses, as we have seen you here with three examples where we can uh, store the data in the input form of JSON objects, like in the map, like in API responses as well. Similarly, if you want to store the test cases list, we can also use a list of arrays and whatever we want. Similarly, if you want to store the web elements, we can use list of web elements. So these things can be used in the Java collection in the real-time perspective, and we are dealing with the automation knowledge about it. So the question arises between what does the array and the collection. There's a difference on that. See, we have discussed about the array topic before. So in the array, we have ideas as that array is of size fixed, and since array is a fixed type, we have an idea as the data types on those we can be primitive or objective. Performance a slightly fixed only for the fixation data. If there are some manipulation needs to be done, then it takes some a lot of time, right? There are very less utility methods which is provided in there. We need to create our own, and then we need to utilize those. So all those features, or all those features has been associated with the collection. In the collection, we the size is not fixed, so it's a dynamic. We can add, delete any sort of things. Data types, it can hold the objects only. If you want to store the integers, if you want to store some web elements, all those things can be stored in the data types. Similarly, if you want to perform for the performance wise, since it's the unknown size, flexibility can be associated with it. Similarly, utility methods, since array doesn't have limited utility method, but collection have a lot of method which is provided for adding, deleting, searching, sorting, all those values. We are going to discuss all those methods later on in our lectures as well. So let me understand, this is the example that I'm going to show you with the programming logic for more understanding. Let me open the IntelliJ, and in the IntelliJ we are going to run the program here itself only to understand the difference between array and the collection. Let me boost my performance. This is the array, right? Let's create one more package with the lecture. Instead of lecture, let's create one more package inside of the Java with the name of collection understanding. So inside that, let's create one class for knowledge about the array versus collection. So I have created one class. Okay, inside that, let's create a main method. So where we can run the class. As we have an idea, we can create an array of any type, whether it's a primitive, whether it's a non-primitive. Let's create an array of non-primitive type of a string. So using array, let's say I have created one array with the name of reference variable, and it can store of a size 3. Okay, so let's say array 0. What does it represent? We can provide any value. Similarly, if we want to store 1 2, 1 and 2, these are the different values we can store. Let's say this is Selenium, this is Java, and this is API testing. So I have created a string of an array which can hold 3 different associated value. So if we wanted to print the value, how we can do that? So we already have an idea using array element, right? We have needs to define the size, then only it can be proceed. So let's say for loop string tool reference variable I have created, so it's a string type. So we can just print that string tool. So what if I print this? So it will print Selenium API testing and Java testing. That we already have an idea about the array. Since if we wants to add the value at index number 4, it is not possible, right? Let's say intentionally I have added this. Okay, dynamic testing. Dynamic testing here present, I'm just adding a text. You can see array index bound of a text exception. We needs to define the size first, then only the things needs to be added. So this approach will be counterfeited by the, you can say, Java collection. So let's say I have created one collection, and that collection, let's say, of list type, list of string collection, and it can hold a array list. Since we don't need to define the size, this is how we are creating a data. Okay, and we don't need to do that. There is a function which is provided by the collection class is, let's say, add. Using add function, we can add the value whatever we want. Okay, let's say this is the variable. Using this we can call the value. Let's say same ideology I wants to add. This is the first element that I wants to add here. Similarly, we can add a few more. 1, 2, 3. This is Java. This is API testing. And here, intentionally, I have added a dynamic values. Simply means we are adding more than we have defined, because we haven't defined any value, right? So these are the collection elements. So if we wants to print the same, instead of array, it should be a collection, and we can just printing the value on this. So what does it print? See, the array element is this and collection element is this. So we don't need to define the size, and automatically whenever I call a add function, it gets added here. So this is the advantage when we have seen with the array and the array list. So we have seen one example how the difference between array and the array list. And the next question arises, there is a topic which interview probably ask you during an interview as well. What is the difference between collection interface and the collections class? So the collection is an interface and collection is a class. This is the first difference. Okay, since it's an interface, we cannot create a reference variable. We needs to have a class associated with it, and those classes are array list, and we are going to cover the hierarchy later on. Let's talk about the array list so far now. So we are taking an example of array list here only. Similarly, collection is a class, so that means the functions can be provided with this class, and these function can be used. So collection is kind of a utility class, like we seen in the automation perspective. We will creating some utility class. For example, configurator we have created yesterday, and then we also created one Excel file reading. So all those are utility class which provide some function that can be used to perform some actions. So same ideology is being associated with it. So collection is a class that will perform some actions. What are those actions? The actions such as sorting, reversing, all those actions is provided by this class. So automatically, if we want to call the sorting mechanism on, and these where it going to apply, it will apply on the collection class, whatever we wants to do. So let's take an example here for more understanding. So you will able to generate the same for more knowledge. So let's say one more class, let's say collection versus collections. So collection we already have seen, collection is a class, and collection is a, oh sorry, collection is a interface, and second one is a class. Okay, so let's say intentionally I have created one array list. So collection interface array list. See, array list is a class, right? So this is the implemented class of that interface. So using this, we can call the functions. So we already have seen one example here. I have created one array list, and this is the function which we can use to add some values. Same thing I'm going to use here. So we can create a list. Let's say I have created a one string type of a list which can store some names. Okay, this is how I am right now. You have seen I haven't declared any size over as well. So we can add any number of value. Let's say names dot add, let's say Ajay. So instead of this, let's make it all those inside the main function. Then only we are able to do so. See, we have added a name Ajay. Similarly, let's say I have added one more name. Let's say Rahul. Similarly, let's say I have added one more name, Zara. Similarly, let's say I have added one more name which is Ankit. So these are the names I have added. Okay. So let's say before that, let's print this original list. Okay. Once I print the same, you can see it will print Ajay, Rahul, Zara, and Ankit, whatever the value we have associated with. Let's say I wanted to perform a sorting ideology. If I wanted to perform some reversing, if I wanted to shuffle these, all those things is being pre-provided by the collections class. So collection as a functions which we are going to use the same. So let's understand more about it. So collections is a class that has some functions, and what are those functions can be used, like sorting we can perform, reversing can be performed, random shuffling can be performed. These type of function can be performed with the collection class. So how we can do that? We just need to provide the collection which type of action you are going to perform. See, collection is a class, so we need to call those functions, whether it's a sorting, reversing, and random shuffling. These are the static method we can directly call using a class name. See, collection is a class, and using you can sort things, you can reverse thing, you can shuffle things. So let's say intentionally what I want to store, I wanted to store this list. Okay, I have stored the list. Then we can just print the value sorted list. Also, let's say I have print doing second action. What is the second action? Reversing. So instead of this, let's say reverse, I'm going to perform reversing list. Similarly, let's say I wanted to shuffle this. So the function is shuffle list. So all those actions going to do, and since the sorting is based on the ASCII, so the larger value will come later on and the smaller value come on the first one. So these are the output. Let's say to show you the output, you can see this is the original list we have, right? Ajay, Rahul, Zara, and Ankit. And what is the sorted list? First Ajay, then Ankit, then Rahul, and Zara. Sorted list will be shown. Similarly, reversing in order, that means Zara, Rahul, Ankit, and Ajay. So we have sorted this one. Similarly, shuffling again. So this list has been shuffled to Ankit, Rahul, Ajay, and Zara, any random values. So this is how the collections class is being used in automation perspective. If you want to sort some list of web elements, that we can use this using a sort function directly. If I want to reverse those values, we can use the reverse functions. So this is the utility that we are going to use. So it's a utility class that is being means to provide on which actions we want to perform. I hope you are able to understand so far. Let me know in the chat section as well if you have any doubt about this topic. So let's understand the next ideology, which is a collection hierarchy diagram. So the collection hierarchy diagram is simply is a representation of the classes as an interface. How does it extending? Like you have seen in Java, we have a support of inheritance, which is being used from parent can adapt. Parent can have some functions. Those functions can be provided to the child as well. So these thing is known as hierarchy, right? So the red dot represent means interfaces. Those are the interfaces. Green means the classes. Okay. So the collection we have seen an interface. Inside that there are three different interfaces as well, which is list, queue, and set. And since we are not able to create a reference variable of interface, we need some classes. What are those classes? Array list, linked list, vector, stack. These are the classes which implements the list interface. Similarly, there is a queue. DQ is an interface which use a array DQ. Similarly, priority queue is also there. Then there is an interface which is known as set, which implement the classes are hash set, link set, and one more are sorted set, which is a type of interface. So this is the collection hierarchy. So if I want to create a list type, then we are going to use array list, linked list, vector. New will be used there, and the reference we can create using list as well. So if there are function is provided in the collection interface, all functions we can which are present in this list, also in queue, also in set. So that's why the functions which is provided by Java is inside the collection interfaces. What are those? Adding, removing, we will cover this later on. We have seen one example here only, which is add functions. We have added some data. Similarly, there are more functions which is provided by the collection interface that will goes to the child, which is a array list as a child, right? So automatically. So let's understand the list hierarchy. Since we have understand the list hierarchy, so list hierarchy have some points which you need to know, such that it is a ordered collection. That means insertion order is being preserved here. That means like this we have seen, I have added Ajay, then Rahul, then Zara, then Ankit. In the original list you will see the insertion order is being preserved. Whatever I have inserted in manner, line by line, everything line by line has been inserted into that list. So this is known as ordered collection. Second is allow duplicates. That means intentionally, let's say I have added Ajay 2 times. So let's check the result. You can see in original list Ajay is pinged in 2 times. That means it is accepting the duplicacy. So this is the second point inside the list that you should have. And what are the implementation class? Array list, linked list, vector. We have used which implemented class? Array list class. So new keyword will associate with this class only, and we are going to create a references of the interface like we did in the Selenium. We are going to use a new Chrome driver, Gecko driver. These are the interface. These are the classes which is implemented the interface of web driver class, like we did. See, driver is equal to new Chrome driver. If I want to create a open the Chrome driver, then I'm going to provide a new Chrome driver. Let's say if I want to run the Firefox driver, this is how we can do. Same ideology me associated with it. So this is what we want to know about the list interface hierarchy. So we have seen one example already, which is array list, where we are adding some data and we are printing those values. That is being already been done here. Then let's move on to the second one, which is set. So set has a similar ideology when we are understanding in the math. In the math, there is a concept of set. Set can accept the set. In set, basically insertion order is not preserved. First one, accept lane stack shape. There is no duplicacy allowed. For example, instead of list, let's make it this as set. Since the set is not present, which are the implemented class? You can see headset, linked headset, and tree set. Those are the implemented classes. So let's say I have created headset. Let's import those classes. You can see these adding was there. Let me just remove unnecessary code. So you can see I have created one set with the name, and we are adding all those values. You can see these are the duplicates I have added. You can see it is only adding one time. So this is the difference between set and the list. List is accepting duplicacy, but set is not. Similarly, let's say Rahul. Intentionally, I have added Ajay first, then Rahul, then Zara, and then Ankit. Let's check the order of the printing. You can see it is printing Rahul first, then Zara, and then Ajay, and then Ankit. Any randomized order is preserving. So it is not preserving the insertion order like we did in the array list. So this is the second difference between list and a set. These are the interview questions that you should have an expected about it. What are the implemented class? Has set, linked set, and set. We have seen example of has set only. We have already understand the programming logic, how we are adding the same thing ideology needs to be done. So the queue will cover, basically queue doesn't bother about much. Your major focus on the list and the set, that we already have an idea, the basic idea how we are implementing all those values, how we are creating the same. So let's move on to the one more topic which is not present in this hierarchy. So there is one more topic which has been uh, so those who wants to basically interface, let's say there is a map interface hierarchy was present here. See, map is basically another topic in the Java collection, but not a hierarchy of the collections. Okay, so in the map interface, key value pairs in be associated, where we can have a unique keys only. Every keys is not allowed to duplicate. Multiple key like we did in JSON. In JSON, let's say you wanted to store some data with the email and email. This is not present because a key cannot be same. Data can be same, but key cannot. So this is the main difference we are going to cover later on. See, examples we will cover this later on in the Java collections topic when we are moving forward as well. So the only for you are going to deal with the implemented class, which is hash map, linked hash map, and tree map. So these are the common thing that you should have an idea about the topic. So let's move on to the next topic, which is a common collection method that you should have an idea with the help of Java. Since we have understanding such that collection is an interface, right? So if any method which is present in the collection interface, those methods will come to list, those method will come to set. Similarly, if it comes to list, it's set, it will automatically comes to the array list, linked list, vector, stack. So similarly, like set, has set, linked set, tree set, so all those method can be used here automatically. So same thing, let's say, so if I understand the logic of corrections methods, then we going to understand the implemented class logic here. So let's go one by one to understand the programming topic about the common collection methods. So let's understand using one Java program for this one. Let me create one class with the name of common collection methods. So this is the class I have created. You can see, let's say intentionally I have created one list. Okay, let's say it is of string type. Test cases is equal to new array list. Now this functions, like first is add method. Let's understand the what is add method. Add method is description means add a single elements. If you want to add a single elements, we are going to use a uh, add method. So let's, these are the first thing that we used to do. Test. So let's say main method test cases dot add login test. I have added one method, for example. Sorry guys. Let's say I have added one more, which is sign up test. These are the two variables I have added inside that list. Similarly, if I want to add one more, I have created intentionally one more list. Let's say more tests, more test. So inside that more test, let me add some test. For example, API test, more test dot add UI test. So if I want to add this more test in this list as well, how we can do that? There is a function which is provided is add all. This is, in this we can provide a complete list as well. So how we can do that? Let's say I want to add this collection of mode test. This is how we can completely add this list into this. So in the, if I print this test case, what does it print? All test cases. So it will print login test, sign up test, API test and UI test as well, because we have directly added complete mode list and login test as well. You can see login test, sign up test, API test and UI test. This is known as adds and add all function that we have seen in this. Let's move on to the one more function. So the function first, let's check with the contains. So contains check if the element exists or not. Let's say I want to check if the login test is present, then we can just print login test is present on this value. So how we can do that? Contains method is being used. So if test cases dot contains, I want to check, I want to check this. If it is present, then we are going to print sign up test is present on collection. So let me just print the output to check if it is present or not. You can see sign up is present. In Java, in array, we need to run the loop, then only we are check the contains method. Same thing is happening with the only predefined function, which is contains function. Intentionally, let's say I have added a sign up test, so this is not present, so this line of sign up test is not present, will not be thrown to you. See, this is the difference between the contains, or this is the use of the collection, because it has predefined function that you are going to use directly. Let's say I wanted to print the size. How we can do that? Predefined function is size. So size of test cases dot size. So it will print the size of the this value 0 1 2 3. So it will print 4. Okay, this is how the size will look. Let's say I wanted to remove some value inside that. Test case dot remove. If I want to remove this sign up test, if I want to remove this test, and after this, let's say print the value. What does it print? Remove this function. So after removing, it will print login test, UI test and API test. These are the values that it's going to print. You can see these are the 4 values. It is present. Similarly, 4 is being, you can see I have removed the sign up test. Now it will contain 3 values only. This is how the remove function will use. Similarly, if I want to remove complete more test, this list all together, then how we can do that? Remove all function. Test cases dot remove all and more test. If I remove more test, that means I am removing this API and UI test. In the end, if I print this, it will only have the login test available in the output. You can see this is the, we have discussed about some functions which is predefined in the collection interface that is being used in the uh, array list directly. Add function we have understand. Similarly, we have understand the add all, where we are directly adding the complete list. Then we haven't checked the contains, means verification of that element is being present or not. So this we can be used as well. In automation perspective, what we can use, we can store the list of web elements and use contains function if to check if the web element is present on the web page or not. Similarly, we can get the size as well. If I want to remove some web element, we can use this function. If I remove all the web element which is unnecessary, we can use directly we remove all functions. So these things can be reused in the automation perspective. That's I wanted to tell you about it. So that we have seen. So same coding example I have seen here. So in the summary, let's summarize the topic because everything is now done. I hope you are able to understand today's topic. So summary here is Java collection is powerful data handling. We have understand about it. Right collection type for the use cases will be decide later on when we are doing the automation thing. Useful in test data management, result storage, dynamic test flows, everything. Since array is for static, it is used for dynamic thing. Most of the time in automation everything is dynamic, so that's why we are going to use Java collections a lot of time in the real time perspective. So that's all for today's guys. I hope you are able to understand today's lecture. So let's meet on tomorrow about the second lecture with the Java collection associated with it. So I hope you are able to understand it. Let me know in the chat section. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.